Hey, this is Phil Lilley, Lilley's Landing Resort and Marina, Lake Taneycomo. We're going to do one cast out here with Jackson. It's Sunday the 17th of October. They're running just a tiny bit of water this evening. Kicked it on about 4 o'clock, 4:30. I have been fishing a little bit up in the trophy area this afternoon. And did okay until they did kick that water on, and then didn't do very good. A little surprised. I was going to do one cast up there, but I got up there and there's 2 batteries to each the transmitter and the mic on my sound system, and one of them only had 1 battery, so I didn't have any sound. So I fished a little bit. A little bit longer, and then I wanted to run back here and do one cast. Now when I came back down to the dock to get another battery, because I was short of battery, came down through here and they were midging pretty good. Since then another boat went through. Actually it was Dennis Mount and his buddy Rooster. And then I came through here, and it tends to knock them down for a little bit. In other words, they won't come up and midge. Give them about 5 or 10 minutes and they'll start coming up. You can't see, but the little midges are coming off right off the tip of my rod. There's one. They're pretty tiny, but the fish have been coming up and midging. Okay, they're starting to midge down here again. And there were several right here when I came by. I've got a number, actually it's pretty big. It's a 14 black with chartreuse ribbing and a black tungsten bead, 7X tippet, to a float that's about a little over a foot deep, maybe 18 inches deep. What I'm going to try to do, if they start coming up, is start targeting these fish when they come up to midge. When they come up and dimple the water, I'm going to be ready for them and cast close to them. Don't want to cast right on top of them, and hopefully they'll slide over and eat that midge, deeper midge. Now what, oh, there's one up here. Let's see. He came all the way out of the water chasing one, I guess. But what this signifies, or what it imitates, this fly, is the pupa, the kind of the pupa stage of the midge when it's coming up to the surface. Of course, what I'm using is a whole lot bigger than what they're eating, for sure, what they're seeing. But most of the fish, not all of them, but most of the fish in this area are stalkers, and I'm counting on them not being super smart. Now you can go to a 16 or an 18 midge and get down a little bit smaller and get down closer to what their actual size are, but you'd have to go down probably to a 30 or a 28 or 26. Little tiny hook to get down to the size of midges that they're seeing, the pupas. Okay, I'm just going to kind of move around a little bit because I don't see anything coming up right here. Usually about this time of evening we get a pretty good midge hatch. Sometimes the trout will come up and start eating them, sometimes not. It does help that they're running a little bit of water. It seems like that triggers sometimes that midge hatch. Actually, we notice that when the water's on, and then when it starts to, when they shut it off or slow it down, and the water's slowing down and the lake level's dropping, We see some really big midge hatches that time. Come on, fish. You can blind cast to them, like I'm doing. I'm just throwing it out there and just watching the float, but I'm also looking around, making sure I'm not missing any feeding. Of course, they're midging behind me, of course. These rainbows will just cruise around, sometimes in schools, and looking for these insects. It's going to be a relatively short one cast. I'm probably going to run out of daylight. It is pretty quiet this evening. There's one way down there. This is about where I saw a midging. When I turn the camera on, there's one over here. You gotta cast to them fairly quick, because like I said, they're moving around, so if you don't get to them fairly quick, you cast to where they were and they're 10 feet off to the side. He was over here someplace. And the bite, they usually just pull it down. Your float will just... There's several of them right there. I don't like to chase them, because as soon as I move down there, because I saw two get up and surface right here, then two of them will get up just where I was a second ago. I do like to fish around floating leaves. Oh, I think I had a bite. It's a little hard to see my float sometimes. I've said this before, the leaves now are falling pretty good, and when they fall in the water and you get some wind or some wave action, they tend to kind of group up in certain parts of the lake, and they tend to hang around those leaves a lot. I don't know if it's cover or what, but they really do like to hang around those leaves. You can fish blind around those leaves. In other words, you can just cast around the leaves with a zebra midge or a little micro jig under a float and catch them even though they're not coming up. But then a lot of times they'll come up and midge around those leaves pretty actively. Man, they just went dead. There was a lot more action here just a little bit ago. There's still just a little bit of current. It's taking me down towards the dock. All I need is one to cooperate with me. Just come up and eat right here. Now there's one behind me. I know the camera's not looking that way, but he was within reach. And over there. But he didn't eat it. The hoot owl. One right there. They're not wanting my midge. I was on him pretty quick. Well, I've gotten 2 good casts on rising fish. Oh, is my midge messed up now? Nope. There's another one down below me. And I just he was eating it. I want to reach for the camera. Oh my. Well, I even hooked him for a second. Okay, there was a couple came up right here by the buoy. Right here. Right here by the buoy. No, I have no sound. Where are you? Kind of lost the float. I really can't see the float in this direction. But there were fish over here midging. Oh, sorry. I think it's time to quit. My mic thing came loose a minute ago, so I plugged it back in, then it pulled the camera over. Well, I got a couple bites, and I hooked a fish for a second. And you got to listen to a hoot owl. That's probably the best part of the whole thing. There's one over there. Okay, I'm done. Thanks for watching. We will do it again tomorrow. Jackson knows I'm quitting. He always gets excited when I reel in.